Good morning, afternoon, evening for the overall EXO community. This is our year-end announcement. We had a kind of a community event planned, but we realized that many of you are in holiday already. So we decided it's best to put together a little video event to summarize the State of the Union. And then in January, do a big kickoff, all community-wide announcement, because we'll be doing a bunch of updates there. So I'll be making a major reveal at the end of this video, which might be worth sticking around for. So let's kick off. We've all had a hell of a year. I think for most people, 2021, we had a lot of loss, a lot of creativity. We thought we were out of COVID, but no. So it's going to be a pretty tough few months as we get through this. We as a community have grown almost 10x in 2 years. So we've been struggling with navigating that growth, which is a great problem to have. So let's give you some video updates, and then I'll talk you through what's happening from my perspective at the end. Here is Jaroslav to give you a update on training and certification.
Hi, my name is Jaroslav. I'm the Chief Learning Officer at Open EXO, and I would like to give you a brief update about the training and certification business as part of Open EXO in the year 2021. First of all, just in case you don't know, I represent a small team within Open EXO core team. It's myself, Anastasia, and Jill. We're also heavily working with Kevin and also Ray from the DigiNotes team, helping us with marketing. And lately, we have been also joined by Fabian and Karina, focusing specifically on LATAM. More on that later. So that's the team. We had a busy year, 2021. We have counted yesterday. We have delivered over 30 cohorts of different learning programs, either us ourselves or through our partners. We have certified over 400 people, actually 421, and we have welcomed 87 new consultants, 32 new coaches, and 21 trainers and 8 ambassadors into our community. So those were the certifications awarded. We measure our programs via a Net Promoter Score, essentially asking people whether they would feel comfortable to recommend our programs. And our overall NPS is 80. And actually, for those of you who don't know NPS, it's quite an unforgiving metric. It's between a -100 and 100, and anything above 75 is considered a world-class product. And actually, 4 out of our 5 certifications, we have foundations, consultant, coach, trainer, and ambassador. 4 out of 5 are above that mark. So we have 78 for foundations, 81 for consultants, 85 for coach, 100 for ambassador. And our only program that is below that mark is trainer 63, which we are working on to improve. So we're very happy about that. And, scores is just one thing, but we also are always quite touched by receiving great comments from people going through the courses. So let me read you 3 of them. The first one, the certification program has a very smart design. Congratulations. This training helped me to understand EXOs better and was the foundation to keep improving my platform in order to sustain its growth. And finally, it is very inspiring to join the community and EXO movement. I feel like I'm part of something bigger, a group of highly motivated and open-minded people on a journey to change the world for the better. So as we have very often actually quite new people coming into the community, and this is their first experience, it's great to see them enjoying the program, kind of going through that. So that's around our program. Besides delivering the program, which is a big part of what we do, but we also had 3 kind of improvement priorities. The first one is we were working on continuously improving our courses. We actually take feedbacks on our courses every week, on all of our courses, and we continuously try to tweak and improve how the courses are run. We record new videos, new materials, make design changes, etc., etc. So I think that's one of the key reasons behind the high Net Promoter Score. The second one has been focused on digital marketing, and we've been working with Ray and the DigiNotes team out of South Africa, and dealing actually with quite a lot of changes in the industry. It's digital marketing, so it's around value ladders and kind of product ladders, and digital marketing. We are selling English and Spanish mostly through webinars. So Ray has been managing that, and we're also dealing with some quite turbulent changes in the industry, where in the second half of the year, there were some privacy changes, so had to adapt a lot. So there's been a big focus for us, and actually will continue being a focus for us also for the next year. And third priority has been building up partnerships to deliver our courses in different languages, but also in English in different parts of the world. So we have now 2 partnerships in the Philippines with Jimbo and Chenny and Trail team in the Philippines, and also with Mac and Grace from the Success Academy. So That's been great. They all delivered their cohorts this year. We've been working with Women for Impact to do a custom version of our program for their audience. We are working with a team that is translating all the programs into Chinese. We have translated our programs into Portuguese with Francisco Milagres in Brazil. And two more kind of recent things, we have developed a brand new course with the Growth Institute that is quite a comprehensive course on actually both the books, so the first and the second book, and looking at how people can understand EXO, but also it's specifically for mid-sized companies and how they can transform their own business using the EXO sprint methodology. So a big part of that course is focused on how to prepare a sprint, how to go through a sprint, and how to follow up with sprint afterwards to ensure success. So that's been there. And most recently, we also partnered with Fabian and Karina in the LATAM region to design specific versions of our program specifically tailored for the LATAM region to work a bit more closely with the community and do all kinds of great things. They actually just had a Christmas event last week as a launch, which was great. Had over 60 people there live, and they are planning tons of things for the next year. Besides that, I also just want to recognize that we were working with DEA to deliver our Sprint Coach certification throughout this year, and Fabian to deliver our consultant and trainer courses in Spanish. So those are kind of also partnerships that are important for us. We have also launched 2 new courses. So Ray and his team have worked on a course called Digital Marketing Foundations, looking at specifically how consultants and coaches can better market and sell themselves, which we feel is very needed to the community. And then Pedro and his team at EXO Builder have recently launched a first edition of their certification program for entrepreneurs specifically, and it's around their Ability framework, which they also published a book about, and they have tons of things planned, new programs, new badges, and many new things into 2022, which we'll speak about in January. Finally, we have hosted the first edition of EXO Awards, which has been great for us just to see the amount of impact and the amount of variation in how the tools that we train people with are actually being used in the marketplace. We had over 50 applicants in 6 categories, and it was quite a highlight of our year. In fact, as a team, we reflected yesterday, and we named this moment as our most inspiring moment, all of us. So that's been great. You can actually find a lot of the recordings still in the platform. It's a great showcase of the creativity and kind of impact that our community is making with the tools that we provide them. So that's it for the year. I want to close with thanking Anastasia, Jill, Kevin, Ray, and the DigiNauts team, Dea, Fabian, and Karina for kind of working with us more closely. I also want to thank all of our partners, which I have already named, for bringing EXO to their geographies. We have lots more planned for next year, but that again will be announced in January. And I also want to thank all of you as community members, either those that have gone through our programs, congratulations, and it was great to work with you and have you there, but also all of you that recommended people for our courses and also that keep spreading the word about EXO, which is definitely helping us to be known and to offer our courses to new people who are joining our community. So thanks from the training and certification team. Thank you for everything in this year, and best wishes for the holidays, and see you in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaroslav. I will never tire of hearing Jaroslav say etc., etc. I think this intonation is just amazing. I mean that with all the affection in the world. We've seen now that training and certification is really off. What I really love about this and also all the other initiatives is the amazing feedback loops. We're constantly tweaking, iterating, making things better. It's the heart of any EXO's experimentation and constantly tuning things. So thank you, Jaroslav. An amazing work you've done in moving us to a stable place that can actually scale powerfully. Here is Pedro to give us some thoughts on EXO Builder. Over to you, Pedro.
My name is Pedro Lopez, and I'm the team principal of the EXO Builder. This year was very exciting for our community. We started with an M&A between the Canoe community and the Open EXO community, which led into building the largest innovation community in the world with more than 17,000 people in more than 130 countries. We also were able to document and write the EBILI system into a book, Evidence-Based Entrepreneurship and Lean Innovation. That book took us about 4 months to write, which is not a long time, but really took us about 20 years to develop. and it was launched a couple of weeks ago, and it ranked #1 in the business innovation technology category in Amazon, also ranked #1 in business coaching, and #2 in startups. We're very proud of that, and we really want to thank you for your support and for purchasing the book. Also during this year, we developed the 2 foundational programs of EBELI. The first one called EBELI Foundations, and the second one called EBELI Basecamp, and we piloted them both. And we're very excited with the results. As far as we know, those are 2 of the very likely first programs in the world to include methodologies of neuroplasticity for venture building and for creating an entrepreneurial mindset. So we're very happy about that. And you're going to be able to access those programs in January. Next year is going to be very important for us. We're going to be opening studios all over the world. We're going to be training instructors, training Sherpas, training disruptors. We want to build exponential startups all over the world. We want to support 10 million entrepreneurs in the next 10 years. We need your support. We thank you for all the help and all the care that you've given us so far. We invite you to keep on coming, keep on working, keep on collaborating. We're very excited of the future. Thank you. Have a happy holidays and a wonderful new year.
And thank you, Pedro. You know, I don't know what that backdrop was. That was kind of fascinating. He was building something behind him, clearly. I'd love to know what that was. We are incredibly excited about EXO Builder. We're starting to talk to governments about putting in an EXO Builder environment in their local areas. And there's a huge opportunity there. I think the opportunity to make EXO Builder the de facto platform from which startups are built, it already is. It just now needs to get out there. And the plans that Pedro has are absolutely incredible for the 2022 year. Hugely thrilled to have you part of the core team, Pedro, and congrats on everything. We are going to be helping build this out in the biggest way possible. All right, let's hear from Kevin, who's going to give us some thoughts on community and tell us how he's navigated this this explosion in our community. Over to you, Kevin.
Hi everyone, Kevin here. I wanted to just give a quick update and thank you around the community for 2021. It's been a difficult year for many people around the world again. And this year we've seen some amazing things, right? We completed the EXO Prize earlier this year, where we listened to the community. You were asking, you know, what it is that you really want as a community, more action. And this is something that we did earlier in the year, and we're looking to continue that into 2022, driving action within our community. I had the privilege of speaking to 48 amazing community members on Open EXO Live. So every week, a meeting with community members, sharing their stories to inspire those around the world what we can do as a global community. Our community has grown to 17,000 people with the merger with the Canoe community and the growth within our community, which is really amazing. We created the Exponential Transformation Guide near to the end of the year, and that's currently being translated into 17 different languages. We had a number of community members that have been running programs, and Jaroslav shared about the EXO Awards and how that was a highlight for the year, where we got to see what it is community members around the world are doing. We've had many community members coming together, and in 2022, we look to have many more regional partnerships and people driving action within regions. And we'll be speaking a lot more about that in January, so that we can have more of you, our community, online with us as we discuss what the plans are for us to drive exponential transformation in the world in 2022. I want to just say a massive thank you to everybody who's playing an active role within the Open EXO community. Sometimes that means speaking about EXO within your local communities, sharing across our global community, interacting with members from across the world. You know, the stories that are shared with me and what people say about how they, you know, get to be part of this global community that is really making a difference, are able to connect with amazing people, advisors and mentors, etc. across the world. I'm also so excited about EXO Builder and what Pedro and his team are going to be building in 2022. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I hope that everyone has an amazing holiday season. Maybe it's not a holiday season for you now in December, although I think it is for most of the world these days. We wish you all the best. Looking forward to an amazing 2022. So have a fantastic time. Have some downtime if you're doing that. I know our team is really looking forward to a bit of time as downtime in order to really drive what we're looking to drive in 2022. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you all on the other side.
All right. Somehow Kevin has managed to keep his sanity in all of this. And Kevin, I can't imagine anyone better to keep a kind of a handle on what's happening and just continue to push and plug and evangelize all those interviews you do tirelessly with all of the Open EXO folks. Those are things we'll be able to point to. We're really moving into promoting our community properly. And to talk more about the underlying structure and platform and the operations platform that we've built to support the community, let's hear from Kent, who will give us some insights around that. We've done a lot, as you'll hear from Kent. Over to you, Kent.
All right. Hey, everybody. I have a few updates for you. We're going to go over a handful of things with the EXO Economy, Open EXO's technology operations, EXO Media, marketing operations, EXO Solutions, and a DAO. So we have a few things to do. I'm just going to give a couple of bullets for each. But first and foremost is to remember that Open EXO itself has gone through a tremendous amount of change over the last couple of years. Much of this at the behest of feedback from you, the community. And in particular, we have sort of reorganized the organization into a media division, a solutions division, and a training division. So when you're hearing these updates, realize that pretty much everything I'm saying, with few exceptions, comes from one of those divisions. That even includes things like technology operations, which runs as a shared service effectively between them, as do others. We'll start with the EXO Economy. April of 2022, next year, is going to be the 4th full year of operation of our own community cryptocurrency. That's the EXOs token. Almost everybody in the community that's been around any time has some EXOs, and most certainly should, because we've been really focused on getting that out into the community to the people who are working on various bits and pieces of transformation. The really good news is that we started out with the mantra of distribution, utility, and liquidity, somewhat in that order. And we've spent these last years building a lot of utility into the token, showing that it's used in our community, in our marketplace, and having it exchange hands. And we've done all that. And so now we're really, really heavily focused on liquidity. Now, the journey to liquidity has not been what we thought it might be, because things just keep changing in the space. But I'm very happy to report we have multiple partnerships coming online that are going to provide ample paths to liquidity for the EXOs token. And most importantly, we have uncovered a number of different ways and support with those partners to provide the necessary liquidity support in open markets on a debut of the EXOs token listings. That is well in order. If you've been paying attention to the town halls or to the EXO Economy core calls anytime in the past year, you will have heard a lot about this. 2022 is our year, and Q4 was one of our best quarters to date for the utilization of EXOs in the Open EXO marketplace on the platform. And with all the upcoming announcements, products, community growth, and increased engagement in 2022, everything looks very exciting indeed for EXOs holders. I really can't wait to see what we're getting into, and it should be amazing. What's coming. And now we have a tremendous opportunity ahead of us to build value and then leverage that value into the world to transform the world for a better future, which is the outcome we're all seeking. One of the things that's making this all possible is technology operations. We have a small team behind the scenes. You almost never hear of them. They're literally writing code every single day for the platform, for connecting services, for how things work now with the blockchain and more. And they are extremely dedicated. Almost all of them, actually, I think all of them have been here since the earliest days, and many of you will have met them. They're definitely unsung heroes out there. That team's going to be growing in 2022. I'm excited to say, and that's going to enable us to accelerate the pace of product development. And we're extremely excited to start putting in place some of the transition work to transition, which is effectively a Web 2 to Web 3 transition. I am proud of what everybody's done to date. I'm extremely grateful for the dedication and support of the teams and the community and giving us feedback that we've worked to implement. And we probably did all that work just to get to a new beginning, but that's fine. We're looking forward to the changes that are coming, and we can't wait to engage with the community at large to find out exactly what you need. In fact, that's pretty much what we talk about every day, how to do better at finding exactly what you need to happen to have the tools and technologies and connections that you need to do what you're doing out there, transforming the world for a better future. EXO Media, major division at OpenEXO. It really is the place where we work all day, every day to amplify the voices of OpenEXO. And it's really turned into an incredible project. Based on the back of the event series that we ran in 2020, the EXO World event series, which generated an enormous amount of content, we launched a video platform. Once we had that video platform up and running, we realized, and this was with a dear friend of our community's, Nisha Degnerin's input, that we needed to layer on top of that the ability to write the written word and get that out there. So EXO Insight was born. And then once EXO Insight was alive, we realized that we should merge the two. So we took the video platform and all that content, we merged it in with EXO Insight. This just happened a few months ago, and the results have been pretty astounding. So by having the written word paired with the video word, we're now reaching almost 1 million people a month with some of our messaging. We have about 25 community authors that are contributing to the EXO Insight publication. And we have interleaved all of the video with all its capabilities of search into not only the articles themselves, but the platform insight. You should really take a look at that. That's another project of your technology operations team and our senior editor, Lisa, who is curating and helping to create so much of that content. But ultimately, the real thank you goes out to the incredible community contributors that are writing cutting edge articles on cutting edge topics and helping to inform the world about exponential technologies and the types of transformation we're driving. That is what we want to do to deliver on the mission to amplify the voices of OpenEXO. That is why media exists. Now, inside media, we built something called marketing operations. Marketing operations is the one that has done all of the brand redesign, all the beautiful imagery that you see floating around social media and everywhere else. They've brought, through Ray Neff and his team at Diginauts, have brought an incredible amount of capability to us in terms of digital marketing. We're really grateful for having their work embedded into our world and our platform. And much of that is being used to help enhance the voices of members of our community. So if you'll look at the work with Voice of the Future from Tariq Qureshi on insight.openexo.com in the platform section, you'll see what I mean. Tariq is producing incredible content in his part of the world, and we're able to bring that through, push it through the Insight channels, launch it. That goes all out to social, and then more and more people hear Tariq's voice and the things he has to say, which are amazing, just like all of you out there. So the team has been really successful in weathering the storm that's hit digital marketing over the last year with the changes that the likes of Apple and Google and others are making. Really shook things up, drove all of our programs kind of into the ground for a while, but they've absolutely cracked the code on that. And what's incredible is that not only did they crack the code, but in doing so, they created an online course to share that with you, because guess what? We need to be the ones who know all the latest and greatest. And they launched that as a digital marketing course recently, kind of a soft launch. You'll hear more about that in early 2022. but that's all the cutting edge information we're using for ourselves and for our own network and community to amplify those voices, get the brand messages out. And most importantly, we've finally seen through our revenues and through fundraisers a tremendous amount of increase in budget that we're going to be able to apply to marketing operations, and all of the related media projects and products to get our voices out there even more over the next several months. So get ready. And we're about to unleash the Kraken, so to speak, and really get out there and show the world what EXO, and especially OpenEXO and its members, are all about. Another division of OpenEXO is EXO Solutions. EXO Solutions came into being as the result of a community-driven project where a number of community members stepped up and said, we're going to find out what we need the most. And one of the things that came out of that, in the very, very, very top, was the ability to materialize more demand into the marketplace, community members that hold certifications like coach or consultant. And so EXO Solutions was born as a concept, and it has now been brought together as a division of OpenEXO. And there are people there acting as EXO Solutions architects. So whenever we get an inbound proposal or request to work with a company, those solutions architects are working with that company or city or country in some cases, and they're helping to craft transformation programs. And then whatever roles get created in the crafting of those programs get dropped into the marketplace. And then those marketplace roles get filled by you, the certified consultants and coaches out there. So that was, I believe, by the team that put that together, called Walking the Talk. And so we've put a lot of effort, a lot of time, and it's really just the tip of the spear in what we're going to be doing as we roll through the next month with marketing and sales support. There's some really exciting things coming. I can't just drop them out here right now, but you'll be hearing about those in various updates coming over the next 1, 2, and 3 months in particular. It's going to be a very exciting time, as you've heard in all the other updates as well. So that's EXO Solutions. And then the last thing I want to update about is really this concept of a DAO. So OpenEXO, from its very inception, from the earliest conversations we even had before OpenEXO, before the platform, which was formerly called Lever, even before the creation of EXO Works, we knew that we eventually wanted to be kind of like a community-owned cooperative, is what we would have called it back then. But now that's a DAO, and we are so close being able to, as a community, create an entity that operates in a collaborative or collective fashion to transform the world for a better future. I suspect, while that is OpenEXO's MTP, I suspect the DAO's MTP will shift a little bit. I won't be the one to dictate that. You will, if you join and you're a member of the DAO. So we're not doing this because it's a trend now. I mean, all you hear about in the media, it seems like, is DAOs and NFTs. We're doing it because the technology we needed to actually be what we envisioned finally exists. And so we're really eager to grab that. And I think you'll see in early to mid Q1, the news coming out that something exists that is a DAO that we're all going to be able, if we so choose, to take part in, to be able to work together to create more for each other and for the world, in that, again, that sort of same vein of transforming the world for a better future, or really creating the future we want to live into right now. Very action oriented, I think, because that's what we want to do. We want to do it. We don't want to talk about it. That's the big difference, I think, of what we're doing in general as a community. I think that's kind of it. That was a whirlwind bit of updates there. And ultimately, it really barely scratches the surface of what's happening through the world in the context of EXO. I'm aware of over 20 projects that have been funded by the EXO Economy Core, for example, in EXOs that are leveraging the marketplace to make substantial changes in people's lives in the world. And I didn't have time here to get into any of that. So go check out the platform, the community circle, see what your fellow community members are posting, and just realize that there is a substantial team behind the scenes here, trying to work and support and get better at providing all of the necessary things for you, the change makers, to go out and transform the world for a better future. So if you have questions, be in touch. It's a busy time, but most of all the news that's coming out is incredibly positive, As you've heard from Jaroslav and Salim and Kevin and others in these updates for this video. We have so much to be grateful for in 2021. And I think 2022, as the second year of the decade of EXO, is going to be absolutely stupendous. I don't even think we have seen a tenth of what could possibly come our way. And there's no way one small group of people is going to harness all that and drive it to its ultimate potential. That's going to happen if we as a community come together and take advantage of these opportunities that are coming our way and finding new ways, say, as a DAO, to take those opportunities and propel them forward. We've never been more ready. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you on the other side.
Thank you, Kent. Amazing structures that we've put in place over the year. When you have a downturn like we've had over the last couple of years, that's the best time to build. And I think you can see that the team we've been using our resources to build support for the foundation. We think 2022 is going to be the breakout year for us. I've got a whole bunch of things coming along that we'll have major announcements about. Number one, obviously, is the second edition of the book. Peter and I are taking all the comments from the curators that have submitted responses and case studies. We're on chapter 11 of 15 of the raw writing, and we'll be trying to get that done over the next 2 weeks or so. And we'll have a first draft ready for community viewing probably mid-January. Okay, so that's a huge milestone for us. And then we're aiming to release the book publicly in February or March, the minute it becomes digitally available. We're now in the final throes of choosing the publisher, but we'll do the digital version for sure. We're going to sell it at $1.99 for the first several months to give anybody access that they want. And then later the price we think will go up a bit. So that's a huge, massive thing. We've been waiting 7 years for the second release. People are still saying, where is the second release, even 2 years after the first book was published. The second thing that's happened, which is the big piece of information I want to give you, is the Fortune 100 data. Now, earlier this year, we did an analysis after 7 years of our Fortune 100 EXQ data. If you remember, we'd ranked the Fortune 100 by their EXQ score, and I did this segment on CNBC Squawk Box. Well, earlier in the year, we did a 7-year trailing analysis. How did they do? Turns out the market cap of the top 10 in our index the market cap of the top 10 compared to the bottom 10. So we're comparing the top 10 most EXO friendly of the Fortune 100 compared to the least EXO friendly. The market cap started off at 5x, which was interesting, and I should have twigged more on that 7 years ago. But 7 years later, the market cap has gone from 5x to 16 times, which is a mind-blowing number. And we started socializing that. And then Chander Nagpal, one of our community members in Zurich, who does a lot of work with Switzerland, with UBS, said, Salim, it's cute that you scraped the market cap of Apple off the web. Let me run this through a proper stock market database so you're operating on real transactional financial data coming right off the stock markets. So he did that, went and did an analysis, and came back, ratified the original assessment, which is amazing, but came back with 4 more metrics that I think are going to form the basis of our future. Number one, so we're comparing just in the Fortune 100, the top 10 most EXO friendly versus the most agile, scalable, flexible companies versus the bottom 10 least agile, least flexible in the Fortune 100. Revenue growth over 7 years is 3x bigger between the top 10 and bottom 10. Profitability 6.4 times higher for the top 10 compared to the bottom 10. Return on equity 11 times. But the killers, shareholder returns, what they call compound annual growth rate, CAGR, top 10 outperformed the bottom 10 in the EXO Fortune 100 by 40 times over 7 years. And I'm looking at this going, Chandra, this... and he goes, I even did an R-squared statistical analysis to make sure this was valid, and we get a really high R-squared score. You cannot make this up. This is incredibly powerful data. We can basically now beat every CEO in the world over the head with this data and say, if you're not becoming and aiming towards being an EXO, you will not deliver shareholder returns. And we have the absolute clear data to prove it. I've been talking about that. There's an obvious index fund, hedge fund ETF to be created. We've started talking to some folks about that. What we did was we set out in October, November to raise $1 million to really blow open the marketing on this. I ended up raising almost 2.5, so we were way oversubscribed on the investment. We now have the funds. We're in the last couple of days of choosing a PR firm or two. In January, starting at the beginning of January, we're going to be doing a major global PR campaign to socialize and get this data out, because we now have, I think, the most powerful business organizational paradigm in the world, and we can demonstrate that, and we have hard data and evidence to prove it, not least all of the sprints. Emily and ExoWorks have shown that our clients are getting 70x return on investment from running the sprints, which is incredible. So that data, we have slides, we have the raw data to show it, anybody can analyze it, and the secret sauce is that we scored the Fortune 100 with the community. And so this is thanks to all of you. We'll be putting a lot more investment and resource into this data going forward. That's one big chunk. The second, as Kent mentioned, is in order to fulfill our destiny, we're pushing towards turning ourselves into a DAO. Why? Because decentralized organizations scale. And what we want to do is scale. So we want to turn ourselves into this inside-out co-op riding on the blockchain. The huge announcement that I also have is that we're in talks with XPRIZE and with Future of Cities about also joining into this DAO, which could be amazing. So there's some incredible things happening. 2022 is our breakout year. You'll start to see January 3rd, a ton of marketing to go out. So be ready for a lot of attention on us, and we'll be pushing this messaging out. And we hopefully can get your help and enrollment in getting the messages out. We've had, all of us, a very, very tough year. The 99-year-old matriarch of my family in India passed away because of COVID this last year. We've all had a lot of loss. Our kids have been stuck at home. We've dealt with a huge amount of stress. But, you know, out of that comes grit and intensity and focus and resilience. And I think what we've shown over this year is we have resilience. And now that we've come through this, we're lean and we're really ready to blow this out. I want to thank you all for being part of this community. I'm incredibly proud of saying this is our community. And I'm now out talking to mayors and a few heads of state. We have a discussion going with the mayor of Miami about creating 1,000 super citizens in Miami. Some of you have heard me talk about that before. We've been experimenting with the Quest, which is the future of education, which Lars Lindbeck has been running with Jerry Mikulski, and Karina's been helping out there. And we'll be kind of getting that finalized and exposed in January a bit more. And so we've got a whole bunch of things going, all aiming towards the transformation of the world. You may have heard me say this, but I think the next 20, 30 years of human existence is the most important 20, 30 years ever. And I think the next few centuries get dictated by how we navigate this next 20, 30 years. COP26 showed us that our governments are not doing it. Big companies are not able to do it. They're too short-term focused and have other agendas. Really, it's up to bottom-up communities like ours to lead that transformation. What we believe we now have is the tool set that can drive that transformation, perhaps the only tool set that can comprehensively drive that transformation. And that goes into every sector, every government department, every nonprofit, every impact project. So we are sitting now on the threshold of the biggest transformation that I think that will happen in human civilization. And so that's a big mantle, but that's what the MTP is all about, right? Transforming society. I love how Ken phrases it, rather than transforming the world for a better future, let's transform the future for a better world. And it sounds like a quote out of the Silicon Valley show, the HBO show Silicon Valley, but we are goddamn living it. And when I see all the activity happening in the community, it really gives me strength. So I feed off all of the activity and announcements that you all do. It's been incredibly exciting to watch all of you take this stuff under your wings and take it out into the world. We can now support more powerfully from the center, and we'll be doing that right away. So big hugs to all of you, and please take some time off. Please, we, as Kent said, we really all need a break, and we'll see you on the other side, and we'll do a big, huge, all-hands community-wide gathering in early January. So I'm Salim Ismail. Thank you again for being part of the EXO community, and have the best holiday season ever.